What toxic family tradition did you break that cost you everything? In my family, the men don't cry, ever. My grandfather didn't cry when he lost his farm. My dad didn't cry when his brother died in Vietnam. And I wasn't supposed to cry when my 5-year-old son got leukemia. Boys don't show weakness, Dad would say whenever I got emotional about anything growing up. Crying is for women and babies. Real men handle their problems quietly. This rule was sacred in our house. When I broke my arm at 12, Dad made me walk to the car without shedding a tear. When our dog got hit by a truck, I had to bury him in the backyard with dry eyes while my sister sobbed on the porch. Even at my wedding, Dad pulled me aside and said, "Don't you dare get emotional up there. Keep it together like a man." So when little Marcus got diagnosed with cancer at 5 years old, I did what 3 generations of men in my family had done. I bottled it up, stayed strong, never let anyone see me break. My wife Kelly would find me staring at the wall at 3 in the morning, but I'd just say I was tired from work. When Marcus lost all his beautiful blonde hair from chemo, I told Kelly he looked tough, like a little warrior, but inside I was dying. Watching my baby boy throw up from treatments, seeing him too weak to play with his toys, hearing him ask why he was sick, it was destroying me piece by piece. The breaking point came during Marcus's surgery to remove a tumor. 8 hours of waiting in that sterile hospital corridor, not knowing if my son would survive. Kelly was crying, my mom was praying, my sisters were holding each other and sobbing, and there I was, the only man, sitting like a statue because that's what real men do. When the doctor finally came out and said Marcus was okay, that the surgery was successful, everyone started crying with relief. Everyone except me. I just nodded and shook the doctor's hand. That night, Marcus was sleeping in his hospital bed, bald head bandaged, looking so small and fragile. Kelly was holding his tiny hand, tears streaming down her face. "How are you not crying?" she whispered. "How are you so calm about almost losing our son?" And something inside me just snapped. 28 years of holding everything in, of being the strong, silent type, of following Dad's stupid rule about real men not crying. I started sobbing. Not quiet tears, but ugly, loud, desperate crying. 5 months of terror and helplessness and love for my sick boy came pouring out all at once. Kelly held me while I cried harder than I'd ever cried in my life. I told her how scared I was, how every day felt like torture, how I was falling apart inside but couldn't show it. "Why didn't you tell me?" she kept asking. "Why did you carry this alone?" Because my family taught me that emotions make you weak, that crying means you're not man enough to handle life's problems. The next day, Dad visited the hospital. He saw me holding Marcus's hand with tears in my eyes as I read him a story. "Get yourself together," Dad hissed when Kelly stepped out to get coffee. "Your son needs to see strength, not this pathetic display." "No," I said, not looking away from Marcus. "My son needs to see that it's okay to feel things, that loving someone so much it hurts doesn't make you weak." Dad's face turned red. "I raised you better than this. Real men don't fall apart when things get tough. Then maybe I don't want to be your definition of a real man anymore." That was it. Dad stormed out and didn't speak to me for 6 months. When he finally called, it was to tell me I wasn't welcome at Christmas because I was setting a bad example for my nephews. My uncles stopped inviting me to family gatherings. My grandfather, the man I'd looked up to my whole life, told people I'd gone soft and wasn't the grandson he'd raised. But you know what? Marcus beat cancer. And during his recovery, when he had nightmares about the hospital, I held him while he cried. When he was scared about starting school with his new hair growing back, I told him it was okay to feel nervous. I taught my son that emotions aren't weakness. They're proof that you care deeply about things that matter. Kelly says I'm twice the father I was before, and Marcus, now 8 and healthy, comes to me when he's sad or scared or happy because he knows I won't tell him to toughen up. I lost my dad's respect and most of my extended family, but I gained something more important, the ability to be fully present for my wife and son, tears and all.